morning. I have I don't know what time it is, but there's a lot of old people out here exercising in this park. I've been like, speed walking past me. I've been sleeping on this bench, yeah. And as you can see, this is like the longest bench in the world, and this is where I slept. And yeah, so here's my new sleeping bag, and I used my orange bag as my pillow, and there's that bag of Doritos, wasabi Doritos, that I bought like a while ago, and I've been rationing because I didn't have food. I still haven't eaten them, but like they're probably crushed all to hell now, but the bag is really full of air. Japan fills the bags really full, like packed full of air, so the chips don't get crushed, but I've been using that as a pillow. So I've been sleeping on a bag of Doritos. And I put my umbrella up like this because I didn't want to catch a bird bomb in the eye while I was sleeping. So I had my head underneath there, and there's no evidence that any bird bombs happened. Yeah, we're okay. But I was just like, man, I'm not gonna deal with waking up like that. So yeah, I put my umbrella there, and I heard like leaves, or I guess these are like pine trees or something. So like the little things on pine trees, the just woke up. You know what I'm talking about. Needles. Needles were like coming down every once in a while, so it was nice to keep those out of my face. So I was happy to have the umbrella. And yeah, it was really nice actually. The sleeping bag helped a lot. About the last couple hours, it started getting really cold in there, but not terribly cold, like nothing that I couldn't deal with. If I have a pair of thick socks, if I put on a pair of thick socks, I'd probably been alright. But I was lazy about it. So yeah, when I came out here last night, there was like people playing Pokemon everywhere, like all over the place, and they were here for quite a while, but I slept through most of it. And I also noticed when I came out here, way down on the other end of this bench when I first came into the park, when I first saw the bench, I was like, oh, okay, there's a bench for me to sleep on. Perfect. That's what I was hoping for, just keep me off the ground. I noticed there was a couple there, and I was like, ooh, I've learned from experience to get some distance. So that's why I walked so far away from the couple. I didn't want to be in another one of those situations. I just checked my my tablet. It was booting up when I made the last video. It's 6:30. And I think I laid down at 11:30, so that's not bad. Like, and I slept essentially solid. Like, I woke up a couple of times, but like that was a pretty reasonable amount of sleep that I got. So good investment in the sleeping bag. Somebody who speaks Japanese not well, but like well enough to like function and everything. And it's weird because like I can have like really good conversations with some people, and I can understand them very, very well. And it's probably because those people are aware of my level quickly and know how to tailor their language to make it so I can understand. And I mean, they don't talk to me like I'm a baby or anything, but they speak clearly and they use specific types of conjugations and things like that. But my biggest fear is old men. Because they just they don't give a shit. They just talk to me just like I'm their buddy. And a guy just came and talked to me for a while, and I mean, like, I understood 30%. And something that's really funny with Japanese, if a sentence ends with the sound ka, it means it's a question. So sometimes, like, you're listening, and I'm listening to a sentence, I'm like, man, I don't have any idea what he's saying, and I'm praying I don't hear ka at the end of the sentence, you know what I mean? Because if I don't understand anything, I hear no ka, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. You know, like, what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna make this guy, like, jump through hoops and try to explain. He was talking to me about ramen shops in New York City 40 years ago or something. Like, whatever. I get the gist of it. So, sure, okay, we're talking about ramen in New York. But then every once in a while you hear that ka and you're like, crap. And then you're reviewing all the words that you heard before in your head, like, okay, what's he asking? Okay, then you can respond. Maybe sometimes you just take a guess. You can leap off a cliff to try to guess what they say, and sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're not. But anyway, this old guy, he's really friendly. It's just like his accent was I'm not used to it at all. Like, I'm not used to like his exact speech pattern and stuff, so it was a bit tough to understand him. And I've been lucky. The people that pick me up in cars, I think I've only had a couple of times that it's people like that. but that had been hard to understand. But yeah, old men can be kind of scary linguistically. They're playing something that looks like golf crossed with, what's that thing called, croquet or whatever. So they're using kind of like a large hard ball and hitting it with a club with a big like base on it. And it's on a course that looks like a golf course, but like a small golf course. So it's almost like playing miniature golf without like the castle and the dragon, but with a croquet ball. It looks pretty popular. There's a lot of people here. And because when I first walked up here, I was like, man, it seems like that course is a little too small. I see people with golf clubs, but like, are they just putting or something? But no, it's like they're driving it and then they get up to like a green and then they putt. But the green area, or the whole not the whole course, the whole hole is not that like far. It looks kind of fun actually. Like my problem with playing golf, like I think golf is actually kind of fun to be honest with you, but my problem with it is like you hit the ball and then like you walk like 1,000 miles to find it and like, you know, in the woods or whatever, and then you get it out. Here it looks like, you know, you only hit the ball and it's easy, it's big, you can find it, and it didn't go a long way, so it's easier to find. This solves all the problems. I wonder if I have one of these courses in Tokyo, I could go like hang out with the old dudes and smack around a croquet ball. Gotta figure out what this is called. Okay, I found 2 seconds later, I looked to my left, I found out what it's called. It's called park golf. Alright, so I met a guy and he gave me one of the balls. So it's like this, you can see how big it is. It's huge. It's this big plastic thing. And I mean, I guess it's not as big as a croquet ball, but it's like definitely not a golf ball. And he let me hold the club. And the club is way too short for me. So that might be the challenge if I do find a course that that exists in Tokyo. But I can't imagine them having this much space in Tokyo. What the hell am I gonna do with this? I don't know if it's because it's like 6:30 and the only people that are up are, you know, retired people, but everybody is saying good morning to me, which is, maybe it's because I'm out in the wilderness. It's a city, but I mean we're somewhat remote at this point. So I don't know if it's because it's all retired people and they're just friendly, or if it's because they're like kind of like, you know, people out in the country and they're friendly. I haven't decided yet. So we'll wait and see what happens when everybody wakes up. See if everybody keeps saying hello. My guess is that this is for squirrels. An old man just came and put these nuts there. That's nice. That's a nice service. So like if a dog or cat gets stranded without their wallet and they have a credit card that they can use if their wife's taking order food and they won't starve to death. Also, is this called hussy? Man, I wasn't that hungry, but I walked past a Lawson, and you remember that girl gave me all that food from Lawson? I was like, well, gotta dip into the Lawson and show my respect. Lawson #1, and I got a salty caramel donut. Never had a salty caramel donut before, but it sounds pretty good. I like this, man. Oh, that was real good. I like the salty caramel thing. Like, I know it's popular in the States and stuff, and it's drifting its way this way. I've had like a salty caramel ice cream thing in the past, and I was pretty impressed. But yeah, hey. A little expensive, 118 yen, it's really small, but that's okay. Lawson, you know? What? Oh yeah, I put this in my pocket before I got my donut out. I also got one of these guys. I don't think, maybe I've mentioned these before. This is like a juice box kind of, you know? Like a juice box. And it's coffee, it's malt coffee with milk in it. And it's like 90 yen, they're really cheap. I really like them. They've got a bunch of different flavors of these things too, like it's like a soy milk or something like that, and like a whole bunch of different types. But yeah, this is my favorite lately, is this coffee one. It's pretty good. They also sell alcohol in juice boxes here though, so you gotta be careful like when you're shopping for the kiddies. You don't want to give them some old man sake by accident. Pop that in the bento box, send them to school. In pure Japanese fashion, cute stuff is happening, and in this case it's like for the barriers they use for like to keep cars out of certain areas, or like if they're doing construction they put up the barriers or whatever. The things on the end of the barriers are always something ridiculously adorable, like bunnies. This is like all of them are bunnies, or you'll see a lot of times like the local mascot or something will be involved in this shape or something. It's like, you know, you're driving on the highway in the middle of the night and there's all this construction, and then there's this like this herd of like kangaroos holding all the poles for the car barriers. It's like, what is happening? Last night standing right here, I had mentioned how I like how this town has got like nice wide streets and everything. And yeah, I mean, it looks a little less sparkly in the daytime, but it's still quite nice. And it's just that they have so much more space than they have in Tokyo, that they have like this breathing area even though you're in like a city area. Like there's room to, you know, spread your arms out a little bit, which is something that you don't get that luxury so often in Tokyo. I really like maps. And to be honest, there's maps all over the place in Japan on the streets, but they're usually really difficult to look at. Like they'll be upside down oriented compared to the way they should be, or there's no compass on them, or there's nothing that tells you distance, and there's always something strangely wrong. And I just realized this one doesn't have it. I don't see a scale on this one anywhere, so it's still failing a little bit on that, but it's beautiful otherwise. It's really big, and it shows a lot of different levels of zoom. So you have the whole island, and then the region, and then the city, and then down to like the city blocks and everything. And it's really, the text is clean, it's very vibrant, and it's just, I really like this map. It's really good. All right, I just saw another news report on the weather. And it looks like that storm is gonna be here about 6 a.m. tomorrow. So I've got about 24 hours to figure out, find a place to bunker down. I'm not sleeping in no park with an umbrella over my head if there's a typhoon coming through. So I looked online last night and I had found a pretty cheap dormitory place that I could stay in this place called Minami Teshi Kaga, I think. And it's like about, my bot says 3 hours, but maybe it's 6. I don't know, it's a little ways away from here. And it seems extra remote, like more remote than I'm in quite a bit right now. So I don't know how much luck I'm gonna have getting there, so I'm gonna give it a try, but I'm gonna hang out here until I can get some of that butadon. So that's my first goal. And then maybe I'll make it that way today. I don't know. I'm like, should I book the room, or is that a bad idea? Because what if I can't hitch there? You know what I mean? But I don't know. What should I do? It makes this kind of difficult, because what if I don't book the room and then I get there and there's no room? I'm like, crap. And then I'm stuck outside in a typhoon. You know what I mean? Like, so I think in this case it's probably smart to go ahead and book the room, considering the alternative is like drowning. So yeah, so I guess that'll be my goal today. I'm gonna try to get there. I'm a little bummed. I'm not really gonna get to explore this town very much, but I mean, what are you gonna do about a typhoon coming, you know? So I want to be stuck someplace where I have accommodation that is affordable. And if I remember, it was like 14 bucks a night or something. So I can deal with that. That's all right. That gets me a shower. And if there's internet and stuff, then I can finish getting some videos edited and uploaded, and I'll just use the rainy time to just chill and wait. And then the thing that's nice is after typhoons, the weather usually gets super nice. So hopefully I'll have a good run of it once the typhoon passes. Just talked to another old man, and he said that when the typhoons come through here, that's not like a downpour of rain like it is in Tokyo for an entire week. He was like, it's cloudy and then it rains sometimes. So maybe this won't be as bad as I'm expecting. So I just use Google Street View to see what this train station area looks like that I'm thinking about going to, because I'm thinking about, what if I don't book it? I'll book it when I get there. I'll use the Wi-Fi at the train station, and if all else fails, then I'll like find like a convenience store or something and just hang out all night in the convenience store or whatever. So like, what's this area look like? How remote are we talking? Look what I found. That's the train station. Yeah. Probably shouldn't wager this one. Should probably just straight up go for it. Alright, I booked this place and a place with the train station, and it turned out to be, I don't understand how this happened. I thought it would be more of this, but I booked it for 3 nights, which I was just like, it's gonna rain, whatever, 3 nights, whatever, stay in this remote place. And it was $30. I have no idea what I just got myself into. But $30, whatever. So everybody I've talked to said that it actually doesn't snow that much in this city because we're on like the opposite side of the mountain range where most of the snow is. So like on the eastern side of Hokkaido,
is tons of snow, like in Otaru and Sapporo and stuff. But on this side, it just gets apparently really cold, really windy, and rainy. So that sounds like a pretty miserable winter. And I was like, I wonder what they mean by really cold. So I found this. What's this called? It's called the thermometer. Thermometer, and you can see here where it is now. That's nice and pleasant. But look how far down it goes. That could be an issue. So I hit the bathroom to, go to the bathroom and freshen up, brush my teeth, take like a wet nap bath. And something I was watching while I was in there is, so there are Japanese style toilets, of course. And that's like, we usually refer to them as squatters, but whatever, here's a video of one, this is what it is. And it's a, you don't touch the seat type of thing, you squat, and it's not the most pleasant thing in the world, but honestly when you use them, because of the position you're in, you go much more thoroughly, let's put it that way. But it's still like, it's not for me. Anyway, so I always wonder, like, if Japanese people prefer them when they're in public. I know in their homes it's very rare to have them at this point, but I mean, I guess like the idea behind it is like touching a part of your body on something that a bunch of other people have touched kind of grosses some people out, so maybe they prefer to have these. So I was just paying attention to people as they came in, and without a doubt, every single time, the first toilet stall they went to was the Western style one. Because there were 2 Japanese style squatters and 1 Western style toilet. And almost like, every single person that came in went there. And when the Western style one was occupied, they would wait. And a couple of people waited until like they were looking at their watch or they were looking at their, you could see the look on their face, and they eventually gave up and went into the other ones. But most people are willing to wait to use the Western one over the Japanese style toilets. So it might be time to start upgrading those toilets, you know what I mean? Like, or maybe change the ratio, 2 Western, 1 non. Like, I'm not sure. But I know I usually wait. I would have to be in dire straits if I was gonna hit one of the, a squatter in public like that, man, because it's just like, it's cleaner, I guess, in one sense, like that the seat is cleaner, but on the other hand, there's usually quite a mess in there around the edge and stuff, and it's just, like your pant legs are gonna touch it, and it's bogus, man. So, Team Western Toilet. Looks like they're getting ready for a Matsuri. I wonder if that has anything to do with the firework festival. I basically never go to movies here because it's kind of expensive, but this is pretty tempting right here. Like, that might be awesome to see in Japan. All right, I found where I'm gonna have lunch, and I got about 2 hours to wait. So I'm really hungry. All I had was that donut. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna eat my pillow. So this is wasabi and soy sauce flavored Doritos, and it said it was for a limited time only. And something that oh yeah, see right there, bang, limited time only. Something that people may not know about me is I'm quite a fan of Doritos. So I'm pretty excited about this if they aren't just dust inside by now. I realize I can't open the bag. I gotta shut the camera off. BRB. Japanese potato chip bags are notoriously difficult to open. So, all right, there we go. Let's look inside. Kinda, that was mostly air. There's not much in there, but again, maybe it's because they're all just like disintegrated from, being a pillow. I'm not really fond of the smell. I'm gonna get out there right there. But I love Doritos. I love wasabi. But the soy sauce smell seems to be the predominant smell. Let's give it a go. Oh my god, it's potent. Like, the wasabi flavor is very attacking. It attacks the rim of your tongue, like out there. And then, like, you know how wasabi hits the nose and like just clears everything out? It definitely does that. The soy sauce flavor isn't so strong. They're pretty good. I wish this wasn't limited. Yeah, I could get down on these. Texture and chip wise and everything is a Dorito, but I don't think this would crave my desire for Doritos as much as it would crave my desire for wasabi. Like, the main enjoyment factor is wasabi, definitely. It doesn't beat like a normal, like, nacho flavor or whatever it is Dorito. Like when you want a Dorito. When you want a Dorito, you want a nacho Dorito. You know, you're not. Some people eat those blue cheese ones. Those people are wrong. This place I want to eat at, like I've just been like diddling around on the internet. I just walked up to it, huge line. Should have been here earlier. When I walked by earlier, no line. There's like a huge line right now. Damn it. Wonder how long I'm gonna have to wait to get me a bowl of pig. You'll have to excuse me for not shooting video while I was eating it, but with that huge line, I'm not trying to like hold up anything. I just want to eat my food and get out so somebody else can get in there and get their grub on. So the restaurant is really, really cool. Butadon is like pork on rice. That's what that means, okay? And it was apparently invented by this shop in the 1930s. And they've got this sign on the wall that says they're trying to like maintain the same exact flavor that they had like way back in the day in the 30s. And I mean, I don't know what it tasted like then, but it was pretty damn good now. So the staff is like all these like super old ladies. Like there's one girl that's younger, but a majority of them probably were there when the place opened. Like these ladies can't stand up straight and stuff, and they're incredibly well-spoken and incredibly polite. And like sometimes I feel like if you go into a place that's like super busy like that, you're gonna end up getting just like pushy service, like come on, move, 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 move. But they were really, really, really nice, and it was like a really warm environment, even though it's super, super crowded. You end up sitting with strangers, or I did anyways. What was cool though is because I'm alone, they jumped me ahead way in the line because they just had an open spot, so they were like, boom, jump in. So probably saved me 20 minutes, honestly, in line, the jump that I got. And so the food comes out, when you go in, she shows you a menu, and the menu is just 3 choices, and the choices are just kanji. And the kanjis are things that mean like bamboo and ume, and I can't remember what the other one means at the moment. I looked it up, but I don't remember. And I've never seen things ranked like that, and it means different sizes. But like I was like, wait, what the hell? Bamboo, Japanese plums, like what is going on here? What does this mean? She was like, it's just the size, like the amount of meat you get. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I just picked one kind of in the middle because I didn't want to overeat, but I didn't want to undereat. And she asked you if you want miso soup. I didn't want miso soup, so it was a really simple order. But those are your only options, like what size, how much meat do you want, and do you want soup? And they then cook it, and I looked in the kitchen, and it's being cooked by like some of the older ladies back there slinging this stuff, which is pretty cool. And it comes out, and the meat is pretty thick slices, and it's really, really well like prepared. It looks beautiful. It's like glistening, and the flavor of it is honestly, it's very good, but probably not mind-boggling. It was good, and the whole atmosphere was good, and the experience was amazing. The flavor is honestly a little burnt tasting, and I know that's what they're going for. That's like how they're embodying that flavor, but the flavor of it to me was just like a little bit, it's a little too burnt, I guess. There was other flavor in there with it as well, but the overwhelming flavor was the charred flavor. I would, if I didn't have to stand in line, I'd go back. But considering like the fact that there was an hour-and-a-half line, like I'm glad I went once for sure. But would I, if I lived around here, hop in that line all the time? Probably not. There's a whole lot of other places that serve the same dish in the town, and I would really want to try those. Oh yeah, something interesting. There's peas. Why are there peas? I've never seen peas before on donburi. Maybe I have. I don't remember it though. Man, it's not supposed to rain, but it's starting to look like it's gonna rain. I got my sign made, and I'm walking towards the direction that you'd be going if you were going in this direction. So hopefully I'll get a ride before those clouds decide they're gonna break the law and drop some rain on me. Didn't take too long. Picked up a ride from a family who was, they were going camping, and they live in Sapporo, and they used to live in Obihiro, where I was at, and they were visiting there for the fireworks and stuff, and they're going camping today. And they had, so it was the parents and a daughter who I believe was 20, and then a son who looked a bit older than that. And they had a exchange student living with them from Australia. So we were all like crammed in this van with all this camping gear, rolling down the road for about an hour, hour and a half, something like that. And now I'm somewhere, and I don't really know where, but I'm like halfway-ish, if not more, to where I need to go. And I don't know, what time is it? Let's see. It is 2, so this should be doable. Oh, and I'm at another Michi no Eki, so that means a lot of people are here. So I'm fairly confident. I'm starting to worry about getting overconfident, but I'm fairly confident that I'll catch a ride reasonably easily from here. And hopefully there's a lot of people going the direction I need to go. One of Hokkaido's famous things is ice cream, soft cream, and the vanilla flavor is their famous one. And it's because they have a really big dairy industry here compared to the rest of Japan, so soft cream happens. It's really, really milky tasting. It's not overwhelmingly sweet, and the vanilla is actually kind of even laid back compared to how strong the flavor of the milk is, which is, you know, it's nice, but I mean, you know, other than that, it's ice cream. So the last ride I got, the people were like, where you're going, there is nothing. They were like, this is like super, super countryside areas. And I'm starting to get that feeling right now because there's not very many cars going the direction I'm standing at to try to go in. So a little bit concerned. I don't want to be stranded here, which is, I don't know where I am. Eventually somebody will pick me up. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I had time for an ice cream break and everything. It'll be all good. It took about an hour to pick a ride up that time, but eventually I was picked up by a high school teacher, and he was with one of his students, and they had gone to some sort of competition or something, and they were just returning home. And you gotta think about that, like a high school teacher, and he was in his normal like car, and his student was a girl. And like, first off, that in America just seems like you would never do that because you'd be worried about just getting in trouble or something. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not a bad guy, I'm just saying, like, you would just be like, I'm not putting my liability there. There's gotta be another teacher, another student or something. But that was the situation that was going on. And then he picked up a hitchhiker. Like, that doesn't comprehend as an American. Like, it's amazing that they're just like, yeah, this is fine. Like, the whole situation's okay. People aren't gonna be hurting each other, blah, blah, blah. And like, that's just the consciousness here. And I think that's really, I was sitting there just thinking about how drastically different that would be. Imagine if a teacher with a high school student in America picked up a hitchhiker. You know what I mean? Like, fired, like instantly. But you know, like, his student is gonna tell people at school. Like, there's no way, this is such a strange occurrence. There's no way that the student isn't gonna tell, like, everybody. You know what I mean? So he knows they're gonna find out. But it's just like, oh, whatever. It was, and I'm sure he's just gonna be like, oh, we got to talk to an American or whatever. It's like, you know, culturally good for the kid or whatever. And it is, I mean, you know, but it's just like I think it's more a reflection of America than it is anything else. So anyway, I am about 10 kilometers away from my guest house now. And I realize I need to find food because after I remember the image of that, the train station where I'm headed, that does not scream 7-Eleven around the corner. So I need to find some food for now and maybe something for breakfast as well. Apparently there's a lot of onsens around here because they have like a public foot bath over there and everybody's soaking their feet. And looks pretty nice, but I don't know if I want to put my feet in those water because that would be offensive to everybody else, I think. Something else that's interesting, so on the cruise in we went over another mountain range and it was really beautiful. There's like clouds like hanging in the sky right next to you and stuff. It wasn't nearly as foggy as it was on the last trip over a mountain. And then it opens up into this valley with all these like farms and these fields and stuff. And I've noticed that there's these big bales of hay that are wrapped in black plastic like all over Hokkaido. And apparently this is a process that they use instead of using silos because they have to keep the food like for the winter, which is a long winter here. So they just wrap it in it, and some reason it ferments and that's good for the cows or something. So I don't know, maybe the cows get drunk all winter. I'm not really clear on what's going on, but they've got one of those big bales in front of this rest area here, and it gives you an idea of how big it is. And that thing's just like slamming full of hay. It's cow booze in the future. These little Michinoeki things are amazing. They're really, really clean and really, really nice. And they're built with like, I think they try to put like the spirit of the area that you're in into the type of building that you're in. It's not just like a crummy little rest stop. Like, and there's information booths for tourists, and there's like little shops to buy local made things and stuff. Like, they're really nice. You think like, oh, rest stop with a crummy bathroom. Like, no, no, no. This place is like the most high-class rest stop you've ever seen. Man, if I thought it felt like the air was beautiful and everything when I first got to Hokkaido, this place is up the ante. Just take, gosh, it's amazing. I'm in the wilderness like hardcore. Like, hardcore. There's just like people come here to vacation. I don't think there's any industry here at all. I mean, I could be mistaken, but it seems like it's just tourism because it's so like just out in the middle of nowhere. I guess there's farms and stuff, but I'm not sure if those even just rely on tourism because of how far away from everything I am. It's really cool. Oh, but whoa, look at this. So we're a long way away, but they do still have charging ports for your electric car. That's pretty cool. Is this real life? Look at this thing, that's amazing. So you see all that steam? That's a sign of being in an onsen town. It's even coming out like right here. This little, it's amazing. I'm standing on it and it's hot. Oh my gosh. It's gonna melt my shoes. Oh man, that felt great. So I made a wrong turn. I walked way down the wrong road. Like, it was in the right direction, but it wasn't on the main road where all the cars would be traveling. And this dude that was on a fishing trip and he was at home, he picked me up. And he was like, dude, you're going the wrong way. It's like, yeah, I know, I figured that out. I just turned around. He was like, no big deal. So he drove me to my guest house, and I'm here now, and nobody else is here. This is it. And it's like I said, it's $10 a night or something, and it's it's kind of like rustic in there, man. Like, it's just big open futon rooms and stuff. I'll go and I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, the ride was really good. The dude was awesome. He was really like, he just thought it was hilarious what I was doing. And I'm really happy I hit that 7-Eleven because I was in the middle of nowhere before, and now I'm really in the middle of nowhere. Sidebar, look at this. Oh my God. Those things are huge too. So to see like a huge crew of them like that is pretty intimidating. Across the street, there's like this little like Japanese garden. Let's see what's up, right? I'll just walk, because I mean, a car went by, that's it. If I have to hitchhike in or out of this place, that might be a problem. There's a train station kind of nearby, and he said it runs on diesel, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, here we go. That's nothing to be that's nothing to be upset about. Look at that. It's a little green. It's all good. The moss is really cool though. That's why it's green. So that's gonna be my excuse. All right. So there's a sign on the door at the guest house that says that the dude that runs it isn't in right now, and to call to get his attention. But I don't have a phone, so instead of calling, I'll be waiting. And I'm not 100% sure. I think there's two different buildings, one for girls and one for guys. So I'm not 100% sure if the one that I am at, that I've gone into, is the right one. I kind of get the impression not, because there's a sign on one of the doors that says women's shower area. So I think maybe I might be in the wrong room. But anyway, this is what it's like inside. It's kind of dark in there right now. So this is like the Genkan area. And I don't see any light switches. How do you turn on the damn lights? I'm trying to take off my shoes. Sorry. Okay. And, oh, no. This is the area for women. So, it's just this little tatami room. And, it smells like old tatami in here straight up. Let's see if we get some light. Look at that. Yeah, it smells kind of like they need to change it. But that's okay. Like I said, it's really cheap. And this is just another tatami room. I'm guessing one of these is where I will sleep. And there's all the bedding. I guess there's gonna be sheets. I don't know. If not, I'll just use my sleeping bag, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And there's insulation in the walls here. That's an improvement over Tokyo. But then there's not walls on the walls. Alright, so I think I'm going to eat my rice ball, because I'm starving right now. And, wait. The guy that runs this place showed up, and he's just this really friendly, like, kind of a young dude you wouldn't think would be running a place like this. I don't know. And he was just basically like, dude, you're here alone, do whatever you want. So, okay. And I was like, do you have sheets for the futons? He was like, no, man, I don't got sheets for the futons. He was just like, you bring a sleeping bag? I was like, yeah, I brought a sleeping bag. And he was like, use your sleeping bag. I was like, all right, I got that. So, I guess but there's a washing machine, so I can do laundry, and I'll just hang it up, and then yeah. So I mean, this should solve all my problems. I'm not going to be outside. I'm basically paying 1,000 yen a night to not be outside because showers aren't even included. It's 200 yen to take a shower. So I mean, that makes it like 1,200 yen a night. That's still pretty damn cheap. So I'm not too concerned with that that price. It would be nice if there were sheets included, but what are you gonna do? I'm not the queen.
That was Hitchhiking Part 10.
Do you know what happened in this episode?
I watched you editing a little bit, and there was a bear using a telephone, like a fish as a telephone.
You just gave away a spoiler. I think that's in another one.
My bad.
So I'm editing way ahead on things because we're shooting these at the beginning of December because pretty soon, at the end of next week, we're going on a long trip. So to make sure videos are still coming out while we're traveling, we're getting everything done like in advance and whatnot. So we're actually going to sit here and shoot a whole bunch of these end cards right now, like all in sequence.
Yep,
so we're not going to even change clothes or anything. So it's not that we wear the same clothes.
It'd be funny if one of us changed clothes and the other one didn't. But I have on way more clothes than you do, so...
That's true. Maybe I'll just change my shirt and it'll make you look like a scrub.
Dang it.
Shouldn't have talked about this, should have just done it. But anyway, if you've been enjoying the Hitchhiking Adventure and you want to see more, then the subscribe button will help you out, and the like button will help other people find our videos more, and apparently recently if you start leaving comments and stuff, that helps the YouTube algorithms and stuff suggest our videos to more people as well. So all those things are really helpful. And we also have Facebook, a Twitter, a Reddit page, I got it right?
Yep.
And a website. You should check out our website, katieanderic.com. Yeah, most people don't know we have it. There's a link to it in the description, and that'll show you like some pictures and stuff that go along, like an accompaniment to the videos and stuff. So that would be cool. And you could also see, it's the easiest way to view all of our videos in order. Like if you go to YouTube and you're like, okay, show them to me in order, it's like, what? You know what I mean? That never works. So if you want to see everything in like actual chronological order that they were created in, and that would be the easiest way to do it. So. Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Really plugging the website.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I was watching that. I was over here.
Oh, and Patreon. We have a Patreon, and that's how we use. It's a crowdfunding site that we used, and that's how we make videos. To be honest with you, so if you want to see more and you want to get invested into the Patreon system with us, that'd be cool. Did I do all of it?
I think you did all of it.
You gotta do the next one, okay?
But that was real easy for me.
So I got a couple of questions here. And the first one is actually a question from somebody who does support us at Patreon, Steve and Rachel. And they have asked, what were your vacations like when you were growing up? What kinds of places did you visit? Did you go abroad much or at all? So you go first. I've been talking for a while. What were your vacations like?
As a child, no, I did not go abroad. We went to Canada, but that was before you did anything with passports. So no.
It's like a state. I mean,
no overseas travel. And my vacations were like this. My mom got it in her head that she wanted to visit every state. And this is a really cool goal.
It is a
pretty
cool goal.
Pretty darn cool goal.
But
visiting a state could be as simple as crossing the border.
It doesn't count.
It really doesn't count. So we would go to Middle America, get a hotel, and then the plan was just to go and touch as many states as you could from there. So just imagine that you spent most of the vacation in the car trying to get to another location that you weren't going to stay in.
If you're with the right people, it's fun. Like you and I do that. That's fun.
Yeah, but I think
when you're like 9.
So then you have to ask yourself what constitutes having visited a state. And I think that you should at least have a meal in that state, and that you should have visited an attraction that is state specific. So, like, we went and had breakfast in Kansas and went to the Yarn Ball. Kansas,
finished. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So...
Kansas is finished.
But honestly, I think you can do a lot more. But I spent, like, 20 minutes in Oklahoma with my family, and they marked that off.
If I asked you if you'd been to Oklahoma, the answer would probably be for 20 minutes.
Yes.
But if I asked you if you've been to Kansas, you'd be like, oh, I saw everything.
Yeah, I've been. I slept in a car in a Walmart parking lot in Kansas, ate breakfast there, chased you. No, you chased me around a ball of twine. It was twine, not yarn. And we basically rode all the way through that state on the straightest. I could have slept the entire time at the steering wheel
That's right.
on the interstate. I mean, that is Kansas.
It's probably more.
What?
Yeah, maybe not.
We missed it. I think we saw a big junkyard of cars there too.
Maybe
yeah.
It was Kansas.
Okay. This is just too
Really,
much Kansas.
yeah,
there.
Kansas. My vacations when I was a kid were probably more adventurous. My parents are pretty adventurous people. We went to Hawaii. We lived in California when I was little, so we would go to Hawaii for Thanksgivings. I think 3 years in a row we did that. So that was really cool, and I have all these really good memories of Hawaii, and I'm really excited at some point to take her to Hawaii, and so she can have some of those memories as well. Mostly, like, if you've been to Hawaii and you get off the airplane and you smell the air, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like flowers like everywhere. It's been an amazing smell. That really sticks with me. But there's other things about those trips that were really cool. My family, I don't know, what other things did we do? We did trips. Like when I was little, I guess we went on trips. I remember going hunting with my dad in like Colorado or something one year. We had four-wheelers, so we would go like on these four-wheelers, and it was more of a trip of four-wheelers than anything. I don't even know if we saw any deer, but we got to go out in the woods and just like drive around on four-wheelers. Like all three of us, my mom, my dad, and I was an only child.
Dude, I've been on vacations with your parents, and they let me drive boats.
Yeah. And then
oh
once I was an adult, we'd go on boats and stuff with my parents. So my parents are pretty adventurous, and it was pretty fun. But abroad, I mean, we went to Canada like once or twice when I was little, and I don't think we even went to Mexico or anything. We may have been on some cruises like in the Caribbean, but again, like, you know, you get off the boat for 10 minutes, you see Jamaica, you get back on the boat. Like, you haven't really been to Jamaica.
That is,
you know what I mean? I don't think it really counts. But the cruise is fun. You get to spend time with your family and stuff. The first time that I went abroad, like for real, I was 17 and I went to Estonia with a fellow from Estonia who I had met at high school. He was an exchange student. And his name's Dimitri. He was really, really cool.
Dimitri, if you're out there, we should probably meet up again. I've heard a lot.
Dimitri was cool. So he was just like, Eric, you should go to Russia with me or whatever. Like in this, like, you know, his amazing Russian accent voice. I'm sorry if I offended anybody there.
Mispronouncing your. I'm gonna stop now.
Stop. We're gonna start a war. So I went for like a month or basically the summer, like between my junior and senior year, I went to Estonia, and we went into Russia, and it was amazing, and it like just completely changed my entire existence, to be completely honest. Like just like I feel like I learned more about America than I learned about Russia. You know what I mean? Like you know, just because you're like, oh my god. You know things are different, and maybe now that the internet is so prolific, it would be a different experience for kids or whatever. But going there and being like, you see things, and then you go home, and you're like, whoa, things can be different than what you've seen your whole life. It's possible.
I think one of the things is that you realize that what you've learned, the culture and the customs that you understand and are familiar with, don't reach as far as you thought they reached.
Yeah.
That's what just hit me.
It's really, you know, it's silly to say, but it's like, oh, people are different. Like, you know that, and I mean, I knew that. I was 17, of course I understood that, but like when you see it and you experience it, and like, I wasn't there with my family, I was on my own, essentially. I mean, I was with my friend and his family, but like, I had to get there on my own, I had to get back on my own, and like, you know, I didn't have my normal safety net and stuff, and just being outside of all that was really striking, and probably a really big part of why like we live the way we live now, to be honest. Just because I was able to see that.
I would say that my background did not facilitate this.
No, what state was it that you said that you went to? No, not Kansas. With your family, you went to another state for 10 minutes.
Oklahoma.
Your trip to Oklahoma didn't expand your mind. Oh, all right. This was a pretty long one. I think I'm gonna hold off on these other questions for another video. I don't want to run out of questions.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, guys. We're gonna do another one right now, though, that you'll see. I don't know, in like a week or something.
Okay, I'll just continue waving.
Just keep waving, okay?
Okay.